Ashley, I would love to start this video bashing AMC a little bit about how long it's taken them to get these panels out. And even once they got them out, though, they've been inaccessible through various versions of their. You subscribe to AMC through Amazon Prime, am I right?
Yep.
Through the Amazon Prime channels, right?
Yeah.
I have in the past done the Apple TV channels the same way. Currently, I've got it straight through AMC. But what we needed to do for you and I to do this video is for us to play it in the Chrome browser.
Right.
I've been able to see the Talamasca panel for like a week and a half now, but I could not hit the play button and make the video happen in my web browser for some strange reason. So anyway, here we are. I would love to spend the beginnings of this video complaining about that. I can't though, because I have fucked up worse than AMC, Ashley.
What'd you do, Joel?
You haven't been in the comment section of YouTube today, have you?
No.
Okay.
No.
You and I reacted the other night recently to a variety panel, a variety interview from SDCC2025. And I finally got that video up today. Well, first of all, I put the video up wrong. For some reason, the video of the panel wasn't showing in between our two little windows for most of it. So I took that down quickly, fixed it, and replaced it. However, as soon as I had replaced it, I began to get interesting comments and the notifications I was reading while I was doing another thing. I was like, what is this? It turns out, Ashley, I made a statement that is not true. I said that Roland Jones is a gay man in that video, and Ashley, he is not a gay man.
That is hilarious.
Roland Jones, the showrunner of Interview with the Vampire, and probably our favorite showrunner currently working in television, if we're honest.
Yeah.
He is married to a woman. Now, it would be a lovely story in my mind if he was a proud bisexual man like myself.
Right.
I cannot make that statement for Roland Jones, and Roland Jones has never made that statement in public. So
that is hilarious. And
Mia fucking culpa. And also, we're never going to get invited to an interview now, Ashley. I'm sorry. I fucked it up.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean,
I love you, Roland. You're my favorite.
We love you so much. We talked so much shit about Mayfair. I don't think they would ever invite us to do anything.
I love you so much, Roland. I just assumed you had to be gay. That's the problem, I think.
You're such a sweet, gentle man, we assumed.
Several people corrected me and said, Joel, he's made comments in the past about how he joined the theater world because of the girls. Like, he started theater to impress women.
To be fair, straight guys, that's not a bad place to go, because there are not a lot of straight guys there, and there are a lot of girls.
It's a true story. It is the odds are ever in your favor, as they say.
Yes.
All right, Ashley, we've got some cool things to react to today.
We do, finally.
We're going to watch the Talamasca panel first, and then we'll also be reacting to the Vampire Lestat panel. That's right, spoiler alert, they changed the name of the show. You all know that already. So much of this information in these panels we already know. It's leaked, and we've read the headlines, and we've discussed it. But
let's be real, what we're dying for is that
fucking teaser, which isn't going to be in here. I already know from the links to the panels that they've cut the trailers, I'm afraid.
What?
And they did. Look, the trailer for Daryl Dixon is already, like, you can watch it right now. And when they released the Daryl Dixon panel, they cut the trailer out of it. I think it is a rights issue about the nature of these videos. They're captured at San Diego Comic-Con, and my guess is that San Diego Comic-Con in some way owns it, and so they can't put the trailer in that footage because then they own the trailer. Anyway, that's my guess. We don't know why, but our guess is this does not contain the trailer. It will contain, though, a lot of the reaction. The more we're going to see a performance from Daniel Hart in the Vampire Lestat panel, for instance.
I'm excited, but I'm pissed. I'm not going to lie. I'm so annoyed right now.
I will say this. I bet at this point, we're not going to get that full trailer until Talamasca premieres. That's
Which is
my
so
guess.
stupid, considering what's in it is just from the first little bit of what they fucking filmed. It's not like they're giving that much away.
That really bums me out, too.
No,
you're right.
Show it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it makes me think, honestly, part of their thing is like, it's a budgeting issue, right? If they run a marketing campaign for that trailer now, they then also have to make a new trailer and run a marketing campaign, say in October when
they should,
Talamasca
because
premieres.
They've got more shit filmed and they need to do a new trailer.
Hey, real quick before we get to this panel or either of these panels, we should put some news up here up front. The Netflix deal got extended and expanded.
Ooh, yes, it
Ashley.
did. It sure did.
So first of all, we already knew that season 2 of Interview was going to show up on Netflix at the end of September. September 30th, season 2 will be up there. So if you haven't seen it for some reason, you're going to get a chance to now. But also in international markets, at least, both Talamasca and The Vampire Lestat, season 3 of Interview with the Vampire, are both going to appear on Netflix after they release on AMC Plus. I don't know how long that window is going to be. My guess is probably a week, but it's going to be like
quick? That's pretty awesome.
That's the way that it seemed to be worded, is that they're not going to wait until the whole season is done. They're going to go ahead and roll these out pretty quickly.
Kind of a concurrent
well, and if you think about it, I don't think AMC is in all these markets, right? I know the AMC Plus service is not sold in Australia, for instance. I know it's not sold in the UK. They get the AMC shows through other services. So my guess is this is an international deal to basically get those shows all locked into one big contract. Apparently it was very successful for Netflix the first time around, and AMC was very happy with it because they also saw a big uptick of people. Hey, they must have seen season 1 of Interview with the Vampire on Netflix, because as soon as they sign up for AMC Plus, they start with season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. And so we can make that connection, right? Okay,
God
great.
bless business analytics.
Right. But good. That's good news for everybody is the point. And what it means is that this little show that is going to find more and more of an audience. This show that we're going to talk about first, Talamasca, might even launch with a bigger platform than it would otherwise. And that's all great for us.
Which is awesome. We love this. We want more eyes on our guys.
All right. More eyes on our guys. There you see. That was what I thought was going on with Rollin, I guess. Anyway, I will just say, one of the most empathetic creatures on the planet, if he can write this romance between Lestat and Louis in this fashion, kudos to you, sir. Anyway, okay, let's see what the Talamasca's doing.
Yes.
Hello, Ballroom 20. How are you guys doing? Oh, I know. I get it. I know.
I think Damien's hosted these like the whole trip, I believe.
His shirt's hilarious.
What is it? I can't see
His t-shirt, it says, it's Darth Vader, and it says, "This suit cost me an arm and a leg." I can't see all of it, but I could see just enough of Darth Vader, and then I used my context clues, and that made me giggle.
That is perfect.
Writer, I am so excited to be here to moderate the supersized panel for the Anne Rice Immortal Universe. On AMC and AMC Plus. As you know, this afternoon we're going to be talking to the cast and creatives behind Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, and
woo! Woohoo! Sorry, Ashley and I didn't get to go to San Diego, so I had to.
Yeah, we want to cheer. We need to get our cheers in.
Hey, I forgot to introduce us, Ashley. We are the Articulate Coven.
We keep doing that.
We needed this panel, damn it! It was time. I waited long enough.
I'm much further going to snatch it away from us, so we had to do it fast.
We're the Articulate Coven, a podcast all about the immortal universe of Anne Rice, especially the TV shows as adapted on AMC and AMC Plus. I am Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. All right, there we go.
Getting a first look at the rock star Vampire Lestat.
Woohoo! Oh my God.
Yeah. And maybe some other stuff I'm not going to say. But first, we need to talk about the newest series, Series 3 in the Immortal Universe, Anne Rice's Talamasca, The Secret Order. So the show explores, as you guys all probably know, it follows the secret society responsible for tracking and containing the witches, the vampires, and the other creatures that are scattered around the globe. It isn't based on any particular book of Anne Rice's, but rather it's a story of the clandestine organization that threads through the worlds of Mayfair Witches, Interview with a Vampire. It's captivating. It's 6 episodes, so it's super tight. It is a spy thriller with a shocking... No, it's so cool. Trust me. It's got these shocking twists and turns, of course, because what would we expect? And the mysteries are very carefully and methodically unraveled through some very interesting characters. And it premieres exclusively on AMC Plus and AMC on Sunday, October 26th. You heard it here first. There it is.
All right. Something interesting there that just popped into my head. We had mentioned it earlier, the Daryl Dixon spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. you can't imagine that show is set up to run for like a decade, right? First of all, Norman Reedus has to be pretty expensive these days, but also he's going to want to do other things as a character. And since it is that series at least is very focused on his story as opposed to the world at large, or like a large group of characters in an ensemble, that's just not a long-term thing, right? Maybe it's got 4 seasons in it or something. Maybe it's got 6 seasons, but it's not going to run for a decade probably.
Right. It's not going to be like
this Talamasca series. Right. This Talamasca series. Maybe they only have the one little mystery to tell. Maybe it's like, let's see what the audience thinks about it, and we'll run 4 or 5 of these. Maybe we'll go to an anthology or something. I could imagine specifically, though, the Night Island thing we've talked about a few times. Mm-hmm. The original conception of it was like a mini-sodes or whatever. But what if they just told like one heist story, somebody trying to break in and steal the artwork from Night Island over 6 episodes? And then maybe we tell another story of the Night Island adventures, or maybe we don't. Anyway, I got a glimpse of this broad universe, say in 5 or 6 years, and it's very exciting. I think that's what the Talamasca gives us.
Well, I think that, I mean, it definitely opens the door for like smaller bite-sized portions of it. But also I feel like they probably were like, let's not blow our load.
$100 million. Yeah.
Exactly. And let's make sure people are going to be interested into this and want it. And then we'll see if we want to do more. I think that's probably a lot of why it's 6 episodes.
They were sent specifically by the Talamasca to recruit those of you that are willing to take a peek into their world. So if you didn't meet one, scan the code on the screen, and you'll get important intel. And if you're daring, they'll also be around after the panel, maybe to take some selfies or something.
They had a little game for people.
So I don't know if they did this for Talamasca, but one of my favorite YouTube channels was talking about Alien Earth the other day, and he apparently got a thumb drive of data pulled off the ship in Alien Earth.
Ooh, how fun.
And he got to go through it before the show came out. Yeah. I was like, all right, AMC. That's the kind of shit we need in the mail next year. Get your
shit together, AMC. Right? We super fans need some attention.
I'm just saying, if you want to drop me a copy of the Vampire Lestats novel or the album early, like,
a little swag.
We would make videos about it.
We would tell everyone.
As you can imagine, there's much
gay.
for us.
Yes. And we would apologize for it afterwards if it's not. Now I feel like we got to do the Seinfeld. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? Not that Rollin would be embarrassed about being a gay man, but I'm just saying he does. Listen, someone in the comments said, if Rollin was gay or even bisexual, AMC would have him dancing a jig and talking about it on the panels, right?
Oh my God.
They would be promoting the fact that their showrunner. Anyway.
I just thought he was a very private person.
I just assumed like his partner is like not famous, right? Like they just want to live a life. Like we never knew Carl.
Apparently, that could be his wife.
We never knew Carl Dean until he died. Yes, indeed. His wife is also probably just a normal person. Anyway, we never knew Dolly Parton's husband until he was dying, and then you hear all these wonderful stories about him because he was a private person. He just didn't live a public life. Anyway, that was my assumption. I was wrong. I won't do that. We're not going to say Mark Johnson is gay. Okay, I'm not going to say that.
I don't even get that vibe.
I did. Oh no, no.
Co-showrunner John Lee Hancock, executive producer and co-creator Mark Lafferty, and our stars Nicholas Denton, Maisie Richardson Sellers, William Fichtner, and Celine Buckins. All right. So, you guys, let's talk, Mark.
All right, we're missing Elizabeth McGovern. I'm kind of surprised by that she's not on the panel.
She might have been busy with Downton Abbey stuff.
That's exact. She was doing red carpet and premiere and all the things for the new movie. That's right.
The genesis of this series. Where did the idea come from? And how did you know that this was the direction you wanted to take the universe in?
First of all, I didn't know it was the direction I wanted to take it in, but I took a flyer, and John Hancock, who is such a good friend, and we've done a number of things together. This is like a major director. He directed The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks, all sorts of things, and also a great writer. So I called him up and I said, what do you think about Anne Rice? And there was a pause, and he thought maybe I'd called the wrong guy. But we worked our way into an organization that appears in a number of her books. There is no one book called Talamasca. And he took his talent and his innovation and came up with a spy story spun around some characters that she had created. And I thought this so complements Interview with the Vampire and Mayfair Witches. And so we have a third show now that on one hand is unlike the other two that I just mentioned, but they're all connected.
All right. Okay.
Did he say spun around characters that she created?
He did, and he might just mean that loosely in that, right, we learn about this organization and the leadership of that organization, and so they wrote around those ideas and those sorts of people, right? Like, we've already talked about the ways in which Elizabeth McGovern's character seems to have some pieces that remind us of a David Talbot or something, for instance.
Right.
But boy, it kind of, the way he said it, and we know how Mark Johnson speaks, but the way he said it, it makes it sound like there's a cornerstone of this that is about a character that actually exists in the books.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it so that if it doesn't happen, I'm not disappointed, but...
I mean, my mind jumps to Raglan James, right? What if the thing that John Lee Hancock came up with is like, oh, there's this guy who becomes a major character later, but we don't know about his history with the organization. How did that go south?
Yeah, it could
let's learn about that. Maybe. We know he's in the series anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome to Comic-Con.
Thank you.
It's your first time.
Yeah.
So let's be kind, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so now we heard how you got roped into this. Now, how did you go from there? How did you set out to create this world?
Well, like Mark said, I got kind of drawn to doing something in the spy world, and at first I was like, I'm not sure these two different genres can meld, kind of horror and spy genre. But then I started thinking about the similarities, and I don't know, shadows, shadows, lies, half truths, living in the shadows. And I don't know, I was drawn to that, and I thought that they could work together, and so set out to tell a spy thriller that has some vampires and witches and some supernatural thrown in, and I've had an absolute blast just thinking about it and jotting stuff down and writing scenes at the start, and just fell in love with these melded genres that have a lot in common, I find, and the characters that these characters.
Okay. I like the way that you talk about other.
That's a pretty good answer, and this is right up the alley of the Talamasca. Like, this perfectly fits what they seem to want to do with this series.
Yeah, I like it, and he's right. Like, those two genres don't seem very aligned, but there are a lot of aspects in each that kind of go hand in hand.
Things like vampires, witches, and other things. Mark Lafferty, the show obviously stands on its own as far as the storytelling, but the Talamasca has been in the universe that we've been watching and reading, and you've spent some time in the writer's room for Vampire in Mayfair, or Mayfair? Jace Mayfair. So how did that experience impact the way you looked at that organization and where you saw it going?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, we are all here because, Rollin Jones starting what he did with Interview, like latest universe kind of paved it for all of us.
Good job. Lay the flowers where they're deservedly bestowed.
But when Mark Johnson called me and asked me to help out on Mayfair Witches, the episode that I was writing was this episode in which I'm sure in which Rowan and Lasher get married, and there's this crazy sex scene at the end, and they're breaking through these and it was the nuttiest thing that I've ever written, and I was like, I like this world. This is fun. But also in that episode, I got to write a little bit of Sip, and he's a Talamasca agent, and in that episode, he's headed off to Amsterdam, and coincidentally, or maybe not, maybe this was always Mark Johnson's plan. That's when Mark was introducing me to John, and so I kind of got to play a little batting practice with the Talamasca before actually, we made our own show. And the great part was, in Mayfair, the Talamasca office is a little outpost in New Orleans, but you kind of hear these echoes, you kind of hear rumors, you kind of hear about the larger organization. And so, you got a little bit of a crack of light in that show. And I think with this show, we just kick the door wide open and you get access to this entire world that if you're a fan of the other shows, it's going to fit right into those worlds, but it is something that will feel familiar and yet totally new, I think, to all of you guys.
All right, you and I have spoken in the past that we did not love the mother house that we see in that episode in Amsterdam.
No.
But
in New Orleans?
No, the one in Amsterdam. When Sip gets sent to Amsterdam
and
gets to take over, he gets awarded
the
New Orleans
Sorry.
office eventually, or whatever.
Sorry.
Excuse me, spoilers for Mayfair's.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. However, Lafferty, as the writer, would not have been the production designer on what that mother house looked like, right? Also, they didn't build a set for that. Probably, they found a place that looked decent and they shot it there, right?
Yeah.
So this is a different thing. I can't hold that against him necessarily. I'm trying to remember that episode specifically, and it was so long ago, and we've
Blocked it out.
we flushed a lot of Mayfair out of our brain, to be honest. But we won't hold that against him. One episode in the Mayfair writing room does not sully him, I would say.
My face said otherwise when I realized what he was saying.
You and I both. We were like,
I was like,
oh, wait.
But, we'll give him a chance. We'll give him a shot. The first episode was fun.
You got a chance, buddy. You got a chance.
Dig yourself out of that basement.
I've seen a couple episodes. And I have to say, I was not concerned, but I was like, how is this going to work? We're going to need some witchcraft. It's so clever. And the vibe is definitely what we know, but then you have that added portion of the spy, of the underground world, and I'm calling it the Hex Files because there are so many. And also, I will talk with
the Hex Files is very good.
That's very good. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy and good about this.
I mean, you can imagine that being the writer's pitch, right?
Yeah.
Too, is that's what we're going to do with this. It's how everybody used to be like, it's Die Hard, but in a gymnasium.
Right, because with this, you get to deal with the mysteries of the supernatural creatures, right? But you also get to deal with the mysteries of the Talamasca itself. So this is there's fuckery on multi levels here, which is really fun.
Yeah, it's mystery boxes within mystery boxes.
Yeah.
When we talk to the actors about the night shoots, that is just insane because the whole play, it's all under the cover of darkness, basically. But you mentioned Sip, we've seen Raglan, we've seen these characters popping up. Should we expect to see some of these familiar faces popping up in Talamasca?
Maybe. Yeah, I think we have, without spoiling too much, I think in the first episode you might see one or two faces, and yeah, I think that the thing that all of us talked about in the creation of the show is that we wanted to make sure that if you see characters from one of the other shows, it's not because we're trying to just wedge them into a story that doesn't make sense. We really wanted to pay tribute to those shows and use those characters when they made sense for our story. And I think we've figured out a few ways that you guys will see when you watch the show, where some of those characters from those other shows come in and really help complicate and make the show a real thrill ride in the body of the series.
Okay.
A lot of those characters just ooze complications. So
that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. But I mean, that's what James Gunn seems to have taken away from his time with the MCU now that he's running the DC Comics universe in the movies. Tie things together, but don't force things together. Don't force
things together,
right?
Yeah. You don't want a crossover event just to have a crossover,
Well, I love the fact that his post-credit scenes, he does have post-credit scenes in Peacemaker and in the movies, but they're literally only jokes. He's like, I'm not going to do a tease for the next movie.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the movie itself, because we're forced into things when we do this, and then it's 15 years before we can get back to that storyline, and the actors aged out of the role, and whatever. Yeah. I like that they don't seem to be doing that here, even in this show, which would seem to be made by the network to do that very thing.
To do that sort of thing.
Who's going to cross over from the other shows tonight?
Yeah.
I think the shows are unique to one another, but also can complement each other in terms of this wide world they both exist in, as well as people coming and going.
Yeah.
Because they would.
So Mark, as the overseer of this world, do you get to be like the final say, or, who would you want this time?
I get to make suggestions, but I'm far from the final say. And we want to be careful that they're not just arbitrarily dropped in, but their character makes sense. And as I was saying to somebody earlier today, these 4 exceptionally talented actors to my right, 1 or 2 or perhaps all of them you'll see in one of the other shows.
Oh, okay. That's an exclusive. That is right. They're like, wait, what?
We got a gig.
Ooh,
folks.
Hey, maybe 1 or 2 or all of us has more work coming our way.
I mean, we've talked about this before. The vampire show is building obviously towards the Queen of the Damned, and even while in this universe, we're going to get a tour for Lestat, not just a single concert, which means that all of these folks could show up at the different locations,
at different
right?
places, different times. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very cool idea.
Sorry.
Call my agent.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about this because I was on set. I did get to see these episodes. The set is amazing because there's a location you're going to see on the show pretty early on that it's just like it's the most unconventional hub for the CIA types. So
he's talking about that library. He's talking about that fantastic library in episode 1. I guarantee you, yes, we like the set design for Talamasca so far, for sure.
So far, so good.
It's all on the same page here. I want to let you guys know that what you are about to look at, is the global debut of Anne Rice's Talamasca: The Secret Order trailer.
If they give us Talamasca, they'll give us the Vampire Lestat.
Roll it.
They're not gonna do it. Boo.
Right?
Okay, genuinely, the language of that tells me these videos are produced by San Diego Comic-Con.
They are. Well, and I think the way that the opening was phrased made me feel that way too. I almost said it then, like the way that like the card was. I was like, ooh, this is Comic-Con owns this.
Okay, so my guess is, Ashley, there's probably some subscription or a one-time fee that you and I could have paid to have watched these, if not the day that they happened, then the day after. But we wouldn't have gotten the trailer the same. And then when that, whatever their window to sell it expires, then they let AMC have it and put it up on their streaming service, is my
y'all
guess.
Can all kiss my ass if you think I'm not immediately, when we're done with this, looking up that trailer.
Fuck
it. I'm going to watch it 8,000 times through someone's, sideways camera with the sound off, and I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm done with my bit.
It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do in this world where it's going to get leaked every way from Sunday? Like, just give us the high quality version. Stop that. That's silly.
I know. So obviously we want to talk to our actors because you just saw some really cool stuff, but it does feel like with that final clip, it feels like we might be short one panelist. So everybody, please welcome to the ballroom Daniel Malloy himself, Mr. Eric.
He's there. The goes.
Look at that grin.
He's having so much fun. That man's having the time of his life.
He's so delightful, genuinely. And Daniel is such a sad sack in the books.
All right, Eric, so welcome.
Even Daniel's end in the books is sort of depressing and disappointing and sad, right? So, the fact that the way that they have redone this world gives us this fucking... Yeah, I'm so for it, man. I'm so for it.
Look how cool he is.
Thank you so much for joining us. Can you at least tease how Daniel fits in with this series?
Well, Daniel has dealt with the Talamasca before in Interview with the Vampire. I had Justin Kirk and Bali Gill, where we had some really fun scenes in our second season. And so the Talamasca has been living on the edges of Daniel Malloy's consciousness, and now he's found out that the Talamasca is pulling him in deeper into this, well, their world. So that's what's happening.
Okay, all right. It seems like he probably knows too much now.
You can never know too much.
Yeah. All right, so I want to start with Nick going down.
That sounds to me like he's in more than just the first episode.
Yeah,
we know he's
does.
in the first episode. I think he's got a
nothing
broader storyline.
Yeah, I think there must be something more happening there. That's great. I love it. That makes me happy if that's the case.
Which that may be what Mark was speaking about as far as we found a story to tell around the characters that Anne Rice created.
Mm-hmm.
On the line, let's talk about your characters. Tell everybody who you're playing and what their thing is.
All right, so hello, everyone. My name's Nicholas. And I play Guy Anatole. And firstly, I just want to say this is incredibly exciting for me, but also for everybody here, I'm sure. You all seem like incredibly lovely people. So thanks for having us here. But yeah, I play Guy Anatole, who is a lonely, quite complex character who does and has lived kind of on the fringes of society. He's quite sensitive and gentle, but more of a skeptic about the rest of the world. He's come from a kind of a hardship growing up, adopted, and he's found himself, luckily, in Ivy League schools. And it isn't until our first episode that he meets this woman, Helen, from the Talamasca. And it's here that she tells him that his entire life has actually been a lie, and everything that he has worked towards is not real. It's been set up for him. He's been groomed by the Talamasca.
Mark Johnson and Mark Lafferty are like, hey, that's too much. Hey. He meant like, what power do you have, Nicholas? Two things I want to say. First of all, secret Brits among us all the time, Ashley. He doesn't have a British accent in the show.
No, he's American in the show.
I just want to say the foreign worker is carving out a space that the American worker can't survive in, Ashley.
Oh, send ICE after him. I'm just kidding.
I'm officially coming out as anti-immigration. No, I'm not. That's a joke.
Things have gone off the rails here at the Articulate Coven, y'all. I don't even know where I am anymore.
I want to talk about this. What is this outfit that Nicholas is wearing?
I like his shirt. It's very interesting. It's got the
not.
collar on sideways.
I'll agree with you that it is very interesting, but there are buttons up the thing here like it's a bib or something. That is a strange outfit.
It's fashion, Joel. It's fashion.
I told my sons earlier today that I had made the mistake about Rollin Jones' sexuality.
Did they laugh at you?
One of them, they both laughed at me very much. But Judah in particular said, a man in a man bun can't make assumptions like that.
And so he has to start again and realize that he has to go after who he truly is. And he has this one thing, this special gift, is that he has the ability to read minds. And that's quite a difficult thing for him to come to terms with, because I think for a lot of his life, he believed that he had a mental illness, a debilitating illness. But when Helen tells him that that is actually his ability to read minds and that he can hear the voices of other people, he starts to use this skill as he moves forward on his search for who the hell he is. And that's where we start. That's where we meet Guy. And it's a pretty wild ride from then on up for the 6 episodes. But he's a beautiful character, and I hope you enjoy watching him.
All right.
I like him a lot.
I do too.
Ashley and I have seen the first episode of the show at this point, and yeah, I'm on board with Guy's journey. I'm excited about him.
The way they...
I was like, why don't you give us a character we know? Why are you inventing characters? I think I get it.
For sure. For this, the way that they're approaching this was a great choice, and he's fabulous. He's killing it already. So, I I do see his buttons now.
So I play a character called Olive, who is a master spy. She's a master of disguise and mystery, and she is Guy's handler. So when Guy comes to London, she's basically responsible for him and has to try and teach him the ways, it's a bit of a handful off the top. Oh. This poor boy has been thrown into everything, and she's brilliant, and she wants to make sure that her brilliance is. And so she's a woman of the gray areas, and there's a lot of sort of gray in our story between good and evil, truth and deception, and you're never quite sure who's on which side.
Nice.
Mark Johnson, Mark Lafferty. Yes, that's the appropriate answer. Good job.
That was good. That was just enough. Just enough. Yeah, she is gorgeous.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said it, so I can then just second it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Lovely lady. I may have misapplied her in the first episode. By the way, we'll see that in the show itself, I suppose. But yeah.
Hi, I'm William Fichtner. I played Jasper.
Oh, Fichtner.
Before I left to go to England, I was fitted for teeth. I really wasn't sure what that was about. I found out when I got there. Jasper is just an awful lot of fun. And he has issues with some people and elements of this story. And that's why he is there and he is going after them. Now, in the process, he meets some wonderful friends. Hey, Nick. And, it's quite a ride, and I can't wait for you to see it.
Man, he just got me so excited for this.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about it. We were excited about his casting. He's
been a big him.
Yeah, he's great. But his excitement for this, I mean, and I don't know, I guess we should say Harry Hamlin was just that excited about Mayfair, it felt like too, right? So,
and I don't think that man's ever read a book. And I don't just mean an Anne Rice book.
At least William Fichtner didn't come out and say, well, these books are all too long for me to read, so I'm glad I get to watch them on TV now.
Oh my God.
Yay!
So I play a character called Doris, and unlike Guy, she knows the supernatural world, and she doesn't trust the supernatural world. And so she's become a bit of a recluse with time. And so she's chosen a specific coven that lives on the Regent's Canal in London. And that suits her very well because it's a place that's safe. It's a place with people who are kind, a sort of sorority. And then unfortunately, she gets yanked out of that world because of the plot. Yeah, that's all I'll say for now.
Because of the plot.
Because of the plot.
The plot, right. I do love that she was
Coven. Does she mean witches or does she mean vampires?
Oh, that's true. It could be vampires. I thought witches immediately. But
yeah, I did too. But we used the word coven specifically in this universe, and it's been used already in the vampire show, in Interview with the Vampires. So it could be either one. My guess is, though, that this will be our witch in this cadre, since they specifically called out witches earlier, and we haven't had any other witch characters so far. Now, obviously, witch in this universe is a questionable term because, like, in the books, the witches are basically just powerful psychics. So, you know.
It's described as an old soul who lives on a houseboat.
Yes, well... Yes, it's rather unconventional, but she's very happy there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We also saw Mark and John, we saw in the clip a familiar face, Jason Schwartzman, who we get to meet very early on, but talk about this guy because he is a character.
Yeah, when I was writing the first episode, I thought, well, if you had a skeptic or someone who didn't believe in vampires or witches, and were told that they were in fact true, the first question I would have is, well, can I meet one? And so I knew I had to write that scene. I wrote a scene thinking about how do you present your first vampire in the show, and I didn't want it to be too conventional. And so I started thinking way outside the box. to the possibility of a kind of turncoat vampire who lives in a penthouse in the Dakota in New York City. And said, well, that's already an odd vampire. And then I wrote the scene where he is quite literally bopping around the room, and he's quite entertaining and fashionable. And then we thought, who are we going to get to play this character? And I had worked with Jason Schwartzman before on Saving Mr. Banks, and so I ran it by these guys, and they liked the idea. And so I called Jason and said, hey, do you want to play a vampire? And he said, when do I show up? He was down for it from day one, has continued to be so excited. He just texted me 20 minutes ago and said, tell me all about it. So he was a joy to work with, and he makes a great Burton.
Yeah, it is a good addition. And
yeah,
okay, he didn't say it there, but he sort of hinted around it. And I've read this from Hancock before about this show. When he and Mark Johnson were first having those initial conversations, he was like, how are they funded? And Mark Johnson said, well, like this, this is how they've got all these, they're a very ancient organization. They've got investments and everything like the Catholic Church. They just accrue wealth over the ages, and now it's effectively unlimited. Okay. Is there an HR department? He's like, well, sort of, right. He had these very, if you were a skeptic and you get introduced to this organization, you're like, yeah, but I don't believe in vampires and witches. Right. And you're like, no, they're real. They're really real. And you're like, okay, great. Can I meet one? There
needs to be an onboarding process.
Yeah, like that makes perfect sense, honestly. And while a character like Burton does not actually exist in the books and the novels, there are. You and I read Blood and Gold not too long ago, which is Marius's book, and he talks about there being or having been vampires that lived in mother houses of the Talamasca at different times. Even in the Renaissance and before. So
yeah, he also feels like he belongs in this world. Like his whole thing is very, I don't know. I in that first episode, we can't talk about too much, but
no. Yes, I agree with you though.
He's fantastic, and the vibe is right on. It's really good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Nicholas, how was it? Because Guy is he's a little bit reserved. He is obviously a little meek in this new world. And then to come up against the characters that Jason plays and Eric plays, like, how is filming that like? Getting this guy surrounded by these way bigger than life characters?
Well, I think as we know from what I've said, he has a skeptical outlook on life. So when he comes into contact with Burton, which Jason plays, Jason really has this joie de vivre, this kind of large-than-life personality that it's very hard to decipher if it's kind of showmanship or it's legitimate vampirism. So I find that was quite a fun way to play it, because it could just be smoke and mirrors. This guy could just be a loony, or he could genuinely be a vampire. So that's where he makes that decision. It isn't until he starts doing things that are accurate as a depiction of a vampire, that you begin to realize that this guy actually could be legit. So that kind of playfulness that Jason brings to it compared to, say, what Eric brings to it, which is a very dark and quite intense feeling, to perform is like chalk and cheese. Eric is an incredible actor, as you all know, but that was a hell of a scene that we shot together. But I think we had a good time, Eric. I think it was fun.
Are you familiar with the phrase chalk and cheese, Ashley?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard chalk and cheese before. It's like a dichotomy, just like opposites.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. I will say, this reminds me of our discussion in our previous reaction video about the poo-poo platter, which a commenter was thankful enough to tell me that poo-poo platter is a Hawaiian term. That comes from Hawaii. Yeah.
We had a good time.
We had a great time. I mean, most of the time was me being in character, so we didn't get to really know each other. We've gotten to know each other here, but it was. You are a thorn in my side in the scene, so that was what our experience. That was that.
Guy also seems to be a thorn in Jasper's side. From the clips we just saw, and you mentioned being fit for teeth, I'm assuming he is a vampire?
I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy. He's a thorn in my side today. No, you know what? That is truly part of the joy of an experience like this, because the world that these guys have taken us in, I mean, I've never played anything like this. I mean, and I don't think you've ever played anything like that before interview, right?
I'm doing things I've never done before. I love it. It's a great way to fly.
It's a great way to fly. So each script that came out, it was just a joy to see where we were going to go. I did notice whenever there were exterior shots, I was like, damn it, I'm going to be up late tonight because I'm not shooting during the day.
Yep. Yeah.
It's true. As soon as any vampire was introduced into this show, we stopped shooting days. We started shooting 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.s, and it was a hell of a night.
Yeah, sure was.
Well, is Jasper, given his proclivities, and his clearly maybe not nicest side, connect him to otherworldly creatures?
I'm not sure of the question.
Is Jasper linked to something other than vampires?
I love San Diego. I love.
You can tell the seasoned actor, right? Can't you, Ashley?
Oh my God. Mark Johnson over there on the end is like breaking his neck looking over there. Like, please, please, please be careful.
Okay.
That's the most engaged I've seen Mark in any of these, I think, where he was like, oh.
So in the trailer, we see some sort of a ghosty ghoulie, I don't know, maybe a zombie, something that is shuffling that Jasper seems to have some control over. And you and I have speculated about it already on the show, but it just occurred to me because we hear also mentions of witches, of vampires, of demons, of ghosts. The way that he hesitated there, the way that question was phrased, I'm wondering if there's some sort of demonic power that is, anyway, that we've got some new options on the table, I feel like, in my imagination, instead of just zombies, I guess, which is what I went to originally. Yeah. He hesitated long enough that I think there's something to that, though, is my point.
Yeah.
I love the way that he phrased it.
Comic-Con, I was here with a film called Drive Angry, and I think that answers the question.
Okay, there you go. Okay, right, there you go.
Very much.
All right, so in the clip, Celine, trailer definitely doesn't seem to be one of the fans of the Talamasca. Does that in any way put her in like the crosshairs with Helen, or even for Guy's attention?
Well, not in this series, but that's because she stays clear of the Talamasca. I mean, she knows that she sees them coming and she doesn't want anything to do with them. So if she can avoid them, she does. Yes, they will be they almost meet.
Okay.
But yes, yeah.
But what if Guy is connected to Talamasca and, he's Guy?
Right. Yes, but Guy, here's the thing with Guy. Guy is new in the Talamasca, and Guy thinks that he's understood the whole supernatural world and he's got it figured out and that he's smarter than everyone, but
he
actually isn't. So so he's not normal Talamasca, and I think that Doris sees that in him. There's something that Talamasca agents has that she detects that she doesn't like. She does like him. She sees that he's not cut from the same cloth, which is why she, tries to warn him. Doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No.
We would have no show.
We would have no show.
She's like, don't trust him. He's like, oh, okay, I'm going back home.
Every time Doris tells him not to do something, he does it.
Yeah, you described Guy quite funnily. What did you say?
I was like, because I was trying to figure out why is she wasting all her time over this guy? And I was like, well, do you know how she sees him? She sees him as a toddler who's running into a burning building, and you could not know the toddler. You're not going to let them run in. If you've got a soul, you gotta help him. Yeah. So that's why she helps Guy.
If you've got a soul, that's right.
Maisie, This is not your first Comic-Con. This isn't even your first panel at this Comic-Con. You've been here for multiple things, but ZC's Legends of Tomorrow, which, yeah. Have you been showing?
Was she Hawkgirl in the? I didn't watch the Arrowverse.
I didn't watch it. I know.
It was there felt like so much, and the early parts of it especially felt low budget to me in a way that I couldn't really get behind. And then once it got great and it was a thing, it felt like too much of a commitment to dive into.
She played
so.
Vixen, Amiee.
Oh, okay.
Jiwi.
All right.
Vixen on the second season of Legends of Tomorrow.
Huh.
The newbies, the ropes of Comic-Con.
Have I, guys? Have I done a good job?
Yes,
I feel like I've been this sort of I'm like, it's okay, don't worry. And I'm going to kind of walk them through the steps of everything. And you guys have listened. And I think, did I do a good job?
Yeah, you taught us how to like stand in front of a camera, which like.
Okay, some lessons on that.
None of us knew how to do.
You were part of the Arrowverse. Now you're part of the Immortal Universe. Is it just your thing to join like worlds of rabid fan bases?
I mean, what an incredible gift, to be honest. Like a fandom, what I love about you guys is that you are so generous with your love. You're so passionate. You're so creative. You know, when there's things that you don't like in the story, you go and write them yourselves. Like I love reading the fan fiction. It's great. And all the ships that you guys come up with. Like, so it feels like such a family, and it's such a gift to actually be able to meet you and look at you all. And I can't wait for you guys to meet us and to see this show. I really think you guys are going to love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like job security, right, Ashley? Like you get on a show like this, then we're going to follow you around and watch your other projects.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure. Because we are big fans. Like we will love you and glom on you.
A whole bunch of people in our group that have watched both seasons of The Newsreader now on AMC.
For Sam, absolutely.
That probably would not have chased down that show about Australian news broadcasting.
Yeah, and chased it down. Let's be real, when it was not easy to get your hands on, like
lots of them did VPNs to watch,
like
some Australian streaming service.
Exactly.
Mark Johnson, building off of Eric being here, how do you make sure that each of the shows in the universe stay distinctive yet connected? Do you look at it as like all like they're your kids and like this one's like this one's into sports, this one's into reading, this one's into burning down houses?
Oh, Louis.
Yeah, we know which one's into burning down houses.
Oh, Louis.
I think I've got 3 of the last ones.
They're all into burning down houses.
First of all, we have wonderful showrunners, and they all know, each one knows what she or he is doing. And one of the things we've done recently is made sure that each separate show has all the episodes either that are going to be filmed or have just been filmed or have yet to be cut together or even being written about, so they know what's going on in the other world. At the same time, I never want them to feel connected in any, once again, as I say, in any kind of artificial way. Mm-hmm. And so it's very hard to connect Interview with the Vampire to Mayfair Witches and then to Talamasca. But I'm telling you, they are connected.
Yep.
And I think we sense it. And this man knows this universe better than just about anybody. And you know how separate all 3 shows are.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And this is, again, like I was saying backstage, like this show, I feel like I'm in that world. Like you could absolutely expect to see like Rowan Mayfair getting a coffee behind Guy at a shop in London. And then like seeing a poster on the hall, like this alleyway for Lestat's tour. You absolutely correct. And I will say this also, this is probably the scariest of the 3 shows.
Ooh.
This definitely has the most scares in the first few episodes that I've seen than the others. This is definitely, you do not hold back.
We had heard that already in the lead up to the show, which is a good thing. Like you need the various flavors.
I want it to be scary. It's going to be Halloweeny. We want it to be scary.
One thing
you hear that?
Yeah, it's scary. yeah. And they're good scares. They're not like the cheap scares, like a cat jumping out of a fridge. One of the stars, Elizabeth McGovern, she couldn't be here today, but her character Helen is my new obsession. I'm going to be her for Halloween. So can we talk about what Helen is and the relationship she has with Guy, because it is so fascinating.
Yeah, Helen's yes, and Helen Elizabeth would be here. She's doing a play. She sends her love, and she
was doing we talked about this. She's doing the Ava Gardner thing. I think it's called. Yeah. I think it's just called Ava, but she's playing Ava Gardner in a like a biographical stage play. I think she's touring it currently. Actually,
she's amazing in the show. Helen is somebody who is a leader in the Talamasca. She's, she runs the New York Mother House, and has a long-standing relationship with Guy. And I think what is fascinating about her, though, is behind this facade of strength and power, and she has that in spades. She's somebody who is who has a little bit of a tender spot, and something that she is looking for, and something that she is yearning to find. And I think that for all of us, she's kind of the way into the show in terms of a big idea that I think runs across Interview and runs across Mayfair and now our show, which is people who have a fractured family or who are trying to reunite with someone they loved, whether it's vampires who live for 900 years or somebody who's trying to connect with, a husband or a wife or a child. That through all these series, it's people trying to put back together something that's fractured. And I think we all had fun exploring that. I mean, I think the kind of nice irony of that is we all became sort of our own, collaborative family. We put a family together in making the show. And Helen kind of sits at the top of all that and is the one who's driving a push to really put something back together. And I think it's a little bit of a mystery that you guys will see in episode 1, but it's one that really, really, really pays off in the end. And I think you guys will love it.
You're gonna love Elizabeth in this. She's outstanding.
Oh,
I wish
she's so good.
She's really, really, really good. And part of it for me is I've always been a fan, and she's always, not always, but a lot of times has played a character who is dependable, really smart, really pretty. In every movie she's done and nominated performances and things like that, you go, this is a dependable person. This person would not lie to you.
And
till now.
Yeah. And so I watched
the motivations for, first of all, that's the entire Talamasca organization, right? Like even the Talamasca members don't really know where they come from or what their purpose is exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's very fitting. And she absolutely brings that off right away. I think you can even tell that from the trailers. I don't think that's giving anything away.
There's some
She's gonna be a highlight.
Lovely gravitas to her. That's just fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm suspicious as fuck though.
I know, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm suspicious of everybody.
What's the real? Yeah, trust nobody. Exactly. Trust nobody.
So I was like, oh, she's maternal and malevolent. Yeah.
Ooh,
like I want her to hug
phrase.
Me, but I want to see her hands. But then sitting here, I was like, oh,
write that down.
Please tell me we get her on screen with Fichtner.
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh,
they're not going to tell you that.
Different characters, but like I feel like they both carry an immense amount of power. All right, I'm ready for that. And we have a first look at Elizabeth in action. We have a clip from the one of the episodes. So let's roll that.
We don't though. Boo. AMC, you got to make a better deal for this in the future. If you're going to put commercials into this panel on AMC Plus, you got to run the trailers.
To govern and that character.
I was talking about this before. Helen is such a tricky character to kind of play against because Elizabeth carries this immense warmth within her, and she really carries that into the character of Helen. But because Guy is such a skeptic, it's quite painful because he wants so deeply to connect with anything because he's so adrift at this point, but he just can't trust her. Elizabeth is a phenomenal Oscar-nominated actress, amazing in every way, and I adore working with her, but she's really bloody good. So we had a lot of fun, but she taught me a hell of a lot as well. She's very calm, very cool, very collected, and because we spend so much time together, that really, I tried to get that to rub off on me, and I think it was a wonderful lesson to learn. So she's fantastic, and it was a real treat, but she's tough.
Nice. William, obviously, you know, Jasper is an incredibly colorful character. He is, I don't want to spoil so much, but what he gets into and the way he views the world it's a very interesting character for others to kind of match his energy. What was it like when you were on set at Jasper, like peak Jasper, and how were the people around you on set?
You know, it was, it's just, you know, getting back to, listen, I'm old school enough to think if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage. And when you have great scripts and scripts that you not only do you read it once and you have a good time, a great script, you read it again and you find out something new and you go a little bit deeper and deeper. And that's the way I felt in Manchester with these scripts, because you know, sure, I had questions for Mark and John, but most of my questions were answered by, I just, you know, kept diving into the material. And then when you know, the world was so set up, the world of Talamasca and the mother house, and which is my home. And it was so much fun just to be there. And then, you know, you put together all the costumes and your own thoughts about it. And this world of teeth sometimes. It's just, you know, what else? Just be in the moment.
Yeah.
And let it ride. And find your rhythm, find the fun, which is, you know, part of the dynamic that happens with the character of Guy and Jasper. And I look forward in the future to have more of that happen with everyone else that's up here.
All right. Okay.
Hey, okay. That hints that they're thinking at least they're going to get a second season. Maybe that's good. Again, Fichtner's given us a whole lot of hope in this. Like, he's speaking about that in a way that he's expecting to give positive interviews about this in 6 months, not just today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which that's good news, man.
Okay, but did he just say he lives at the Talamasca mother house?
Sure sounded like it, didn't it? Sure sounded like it. I mean, and it may be the way that he said it, I think, leaves it open to interpretation, right? Is that building his home and the Talamasca have forced him out of it in some way or taken it over when he had abandoned it for something?
Is he squatting in some basement of it? They don't even know he's there.
Is the Talamasca a divided organization in some fashion? And there's a group that has Jasper on their side and there's a group that is against Jasper for some reason, which we've already seen that in Mayfair, that there are clearly rogue elements of the Talamasca. So,
well, we see that with I mean, we see that in an interview too with what's his nuts?
Raglan James, exactly. He even says there are parts of the organization that think it's time to take control of the story and to get it public, and others that don't. You know, So, I mean, and we've seen that as well after the publication of the book in Mayfair. When we see the Amsterdam Mother House, they are not exactly, some of them anyway, are not pleased with the publication of this novel.
Yeah.
So, boy, This is doing its job. I'm super excited now for the show.
Eric, what did you think when they first contacted you about bringing him over?
Oh,
Give me that paycheck.
I love the idea. I mean, I love this idea of the universe and us moving around from thing to thing. And yeah, I mean, I love my character. I love to go as far as I can with him. And of course, at this point, I am the character that I was at the end of our second season, which I am now a vampire myself. And it's not just me who moves over to the other show, it's the book into with the vampire moves over to the other show. And that's where there are clues that are going to go find, well, he's going to start a journey. I don't want to give away things, but it was an interesting collaboration between the two shows to say, okay, now this character's been established here. Now he's going to leak over into this other show. Can he stay consistent? Because when we were doing that, we were in between our two shooting seasons. And now I've begun continuing on. So actually, this is like, this is Daniel Malloy post the end of our season, but before we began this season. It's our shooting of this season. So I love it. I love all the complexity of it. It's great to try to figure it all out.
Celine, in some of the...
I will just say, like, Detective Munch is laughing at all of you pretending that it's hard to be the same character across platforms, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, Detective Munch was in friggin' Millennium and the X-Files and the Lone Gunman and Homicide, Life on the Streets, and all of those Law and Order shows. And The Wire. He shows up in The Wire at one point.
Does he really?
Yeah, Munch is in The Wire.
That was such a fucking great character. My God.
No, he's fantastic. No doubt about it. And the actor, obviously brilliant too.
Right.
But anyway, it's like, hey man, we're all living in, what is it? Tommy, what's the kid's name from St. Elsewhere that we're all actually living in his brain
in the
or whatever?
snowball? Yeah.
We're all in the snow globe, motherfuckers.
I'd be so pissed if I watched that show for years and then they did that bullshit at the end. I'd throw a fucking snow globe through someone's front window.
I'm like this close to the part of Dallas in my current rewatch where they do a whole season and then Bobby gets out of the shower and it was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, I'm about to get there.
Advance the photos, the first look photos that have come out. We see Doris with the old soul holding a Molotov cocktail, which is also very like retro. What is she getting into? How dangerous is this woman?
Well, you know, she's got a lot of different facets. You know, she would prefer to live the quiet life, but if she's got to fight, she'll fight, and she'll fight well. So yeah, it's not a Molotov cocktail though. Oh. It's actually a flamethrower.
Oh. Wow.
Even better, babe.
Something all old souls had hanging in the closet.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And Maisie, speaking of action and getting into it, you're Olive is Guy's handler. And there is a level of danger that this guy, because again, as he's been described as like this toddler, also kind of a new sheep, a new baby lamb. How much danger does that put you in and how much action did you get to shoot?
Puts me in a lot of danger because I am responsible for him. And I think that I tried my best to guide him, but he has his own plan. And it challenges Olive a lot. And it really pushes her to the end of her rope. I got to do some action. I got to do some action. That's about all I can say. But it's good. It was good action. And it's not with who you would expect. There's a lot of twists and turns in this story.
Look at that.
All right. Okay. Well, I just got the big stop sign because we've got something else to bring out. But I want to thank you all for joining us for the Anne Rice's Talamasca Secret Order. Don't forget, it premieres Sunday, October 26th on AMC and AMC Plus.
Ooh. ABC, it doesn't appear on ABC.
Scan that barcode, find the agents that are...
All right, I want to thank AMC for finally putting this damn thing up.
Praise,
That's what I want to do.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay, I'm very excited about that. I think that is going to be... I genuinely think that we're going to get the second series that we wanted.
I just really think that for me, genre-wise, this is shit I really like. Like I like spy shit. I like undercover secret organizations and stuff like that. Like I love that. It's so much fun. So I have a lot of hope for this show being something that I'm going to be highly entertained by, if nothing else.
One of the only things that we like better than spy shit, Ashley, is gay-ass vampires.
Gay-ass
that's
vampires?
what we're going to talk about in our next video, I should say. So stay tuned.
Go.
If you're not following the channel, subscribe to get the next video. And if you're in a position to do so, support the show by joining at articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. We'll be back soon with the reaction to that panel for the Vampire Lestat. Until then, we've been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven.